My beautiful souls, I hope you're feeling great today. I would like to introduce to you Eva, who showed me how she went on her purpose journey being a single mom in the corporate world and how she went from that to coaching parents nowadays on how they can be kinder and more empathetic with their children and how they can bring compassion to them in their daily lives and how she supports today on that level. I'm very excited and I hope you have fun with today's interview. Hi, and welcome everybody to today's episode here on the podcast. I'm so excited for my guest today. We have the dear Eva. I hope I'm saying it right. Eva or Eva?
Yeah, Eva.
Eva. No, I love how Eva sounds so much more beautiful than, because when I say it in German it's Eva, which is nice too, but I think Eva is it's softer.
Yes.
So beautiful. Hello, Eva. Eva, how are you today?
Thanks. I'm good. I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
Very good. I'm very excited as to where our conversation is going to go today.
Oh, yeah, me too.
So maybe for the beginning, for everybody who's listening or watching us on YouTube, can you tell us a little bit about who you are today?
Yes, yes. Well, today I'm an advisor, learning mentor, helping busy working moms achieve success in parenting life. I'm
Wow.
working with primary school age children with behavioral issues, healing their relationship, and solve problems of study or why they react as they react. Yeah, and help them to change the mindset, um, break free from their role model and not pass it over to their kids. Yeah, so I'm a transformational coach and I'm happy to see the progress and the transformation and contribute to their life.
Beautiful. How did you become this wonderful coach?
Oh, yeah. That was quite of a journey. That was quite of a journey. As I was a corporate person, financial person, I got to the capital city after the divorce, and I, start again from scratch as a single mother with two small kids, and yeah, that was really challenging in that responsible position. I traveled a lot. It was always a problem. Who will take care of the kids? And yeah, it was really stressful. Really stressful. And I got sick. At the end, I got sick. I had an operation, and I did everything to recover. I met Lama Ole. I started to learn Buddhist philosophy and practice, and stress release techniques, yoga, meditation. So I started my own transformational journey, and I went for a life purpose consultation actually, and also had a coaching and training session. Steve Oshler, who is the author of the book What's Your What? And yeah, it turned out that my passion is change the way children grow. And this ego kind of things, I didn't know for long what to do with this. So what? How will I be a coach, or how will I help for families where I'm a corporate financial person, a successful businesswoman? What am I doing with all these things? Gosh. And yeah, it was not easy. It was not easy. But I got, once you set your intention and you accept and kind of, then the universe is giving you helping hands, I don't know, so to say, or just lead you on their way. And you just meet this person, that person, learn this technique, that training. I started to work with families. in the last 5 years as nanny, babysitter. I've done proxy mothering, and on my way, I also learned techniques, read book, went for training like karma parenting, or how to work with the holding table. So I put in practice. And also by that time, because all this transformation behind me, my way of approaching kids were also different. Yeah. So funny enough, but I found that for me, it's easier to work with kids. I have no problem with kids. What was more challenging is dealing with the mother, dealing with that family, because they were too stressful. They had requirements of kind of, how to say it, make the children, or even giving the children more difficulties. I say an example what I mean. For example, one family, they lived in New York for 2 years and then came back to London for 3 years and went back for New York for another year. And then, yeah, that's okay if there is some stability. But beside all this travel and, new environment, new school, new nanny, new everything, the mother started with the Montessori approach. And then when they come back to London, they decided to go for an academic school. For Montessori and academics, it's just it's really far from each other, right?
Yeah.
So it's pure. So basically, as I translated after I was looking back, I mean, my role was to have this transition from the Montessori to the academic, yeah, because it's different, and you just can't expect to switch from one day to another. Can you do that? Can you do that as an adult or as a parent? Why do you expect it from the kid? Yeah. So I was tricky. I was playing with him, and kind of figured out that because he loves buses and trains and planes, then we were kind of, okay, so how many passengers coming up and off? And I was checking, was the homework, okay, 6 + 4 is that, okay, so 6 times. So anything it was, just be creative. And if we done that, then we sit into the homework and he wrote it down. But so like these kind of things, I mean, I had really variable experience, or like the proxy mothering, I was really afraid of, because it was just a really quick handover and the mother just disappeared for 3 months. I was like 6 years old and 9 years old, young boy. And again, I had this collaborative approach. I sat down with them and we agreed about, what would be the goal, what are those items in the rewarding table. I sit down with the father, so what would be the rewards? Okay, 80%, 90%. And then, it was just so easy just to remind them, hey, do you really want that reward? Do you remember that we agreed on something? Yeah? Okay, so you want that. Then please tidy up your rooms. Easy, yeah? And if I put some extra effort, because, for example, I took them to the park every day, because I could see that coming out of school, I mean, they need that 30 minutes almost, to run, to hike, to be outside, to actually, you just kind of go home and start homework immediately. Yeah. So, and then when I felt that, okay, now I have a powerhouse of knowledge, then I can share it, and then I can coach and mentor and teach parents the areas of study, behavioral issues, what's the manifestation, why is the manifestation, don't be stressful, this is a skill, this is the knowledge you need to know. And if they want to go deeper, then we go deeper, teach them to how to properly use the rewarding table, because I was talking with the father, and I decided that the father still get angry if they didn't achieve what they wanted, or start chatting, or punishing them. It's supposed to be a rewarding table, so use different approach or different mindset. So yeah, and exciting. I'm happy to help and happy to contribute to their life. And really, I mean, all these life coaches and there's kind of a new wave of entrepreneurship as well. And many opportunities to learn about leadership skills, be empathetic and how to approach change and you are the role model. Well, most of them applies as a parent as well. But it's kind of mindset coach and calm down your mind, meditate, organize your family life, a couple tools and techniques. And it's up to you. If you are not happy with the circumstances, then you want to do something different. There are tools and techniques. You open up. There are special sequences, steps, and I'm happy to teach. Yeah.
And I think it's so beautiful because I believe that, at least on the personal development side, we used to have this, and I'm talking about like really old thinking, like, no, I don't need a therapist because, or why should I need someone to help me deal with my emotions, right?
Yeah.
But I feel that we've overcome that in the last couple of years.
Yes.
And it's become more normal to actually ask for help. And why not? Because I've had the typical thing, because you mentioned this also, when you have a couple that separates, and then maybe the mother is alone with the children or the father is alone with the children. And I feel that before it was harder for them to get help because they would have this label like you didn't succeed with your family life. You actually, you didn't do it right. But nowadays you're allowed to, if you can, because I feel that there's still people out there with that old thinking.
Yes.
But once you overcome that and tell yourself, okay, it doesn't mean that I didn't succeed as a family person, as a father, as a mother, if I go and ask for help. It's actually the contrary.
Yeah.
Because I want my family life, even if it's not separation, if I have the full family, if we're all together and everything is there, but I still feel that maybe my children are going into a wrong direction, or something in the family dynamic is not working out, it's always good to get help, to bring someone in that has a different view on it, right?
Yeah, that's very true, very true. But also, I mean, my approach when I was kind of pulling together my online program, I was like, since I was tutor and teaching primary school age children, I found that these areas of study again manifesting behavioral issues, and it was shocking to see and experience this with this family. And it's just a question of knowledge. It's just a question of being skilled and being aware about it. Yeah, and then use the proper strategy, so then problem solved. Yeah, when I had this 6-year-old girl, she got so good in numbers after tutoring, 8 months, 6 months. And then the teacher, for motivation purpose, put her to higher class from year 3. She was year 3, and the teacher put her year 4. And then this poor girl who used to have understanding, used to have a solid foundation, she lost understanding. She lost the foundation. I was just amazed. What is happening? Why she seemed to forget what she knew? Why she became so resistant? She doesn't want maths. Okay, so let's switch to English. But and then tension arises between the mother and the children. Yeah, because the mother's wanted to get resolved, pushed her to her own, shouting. It's just one simple thing. Yeah. But I will sit down with her and explain, and she told me that the teacher was like, oh my God, she wanted to motivate her, but at the end, she had this self-esteem problem. I'm naughty, I'm not good enough, and all these things. It's just a nightmare. Yeah? So I asked the mother, please go to school and talk to the teacher, put her back to year 3, and then I started way back, really basic numbers again. I knew she knew it, and when she recognized it, I know it. Yes, of course you know. Yes, and let's keep going. That's what I'm saying. Yes, so let's go. Clever girl. What's the next one? Then it took me 2 months to get to the level where she was, and we established the relationship between the family members. So it's just lack of knowledge, lack of skills, and if usually the study problems and education gives extra stress for the family. So if that stress is taken away and is handled, then like 50% of the stress is gone. Yeah, I'm not talking about the pandemic era because that's different and there are additional factors. But and if that's enough for someone, that's enough. You know, we don't need to go further. But we can go further and teach them to calmer parenting, teach them to positive encouragement, teach them to the rewarding table. And then when they do it or when they journalize it, then we figure out why is so challenging to put into practice. Because when you read it, and when you do it, I mean, I know some grandmother was observing me and asked me, how am I doing it? I don't know. It's just natural to me now.
No, and I think it's an important empathy that you need to bring that in, because you have that eye for it. You know, it's I feel it's, especially nowadays, it's so important, because I don't know if something changed about the school system, or if it's just too much, too many things happening at the same time for kids. But
Yes.
at least I know here in Germany, the numbers of children having depression has gone so much up, because of the pressure in school, because of the pressure of being good enough, you know, to do all those things. And I feel it's so important, because they are our future, you know, to really
Yes.
recognize that and support them from the
Yes.
beginning,
Yes.
to help them not to get into that spiral. Because I mean, how many grown-ups do we have that have lived through depression because of the pressure of jobs, of, you know,
Exactly.
relationships and everything? Yeah.
Very true. And mental problems. So it doesn't matter how you grown up, because then okay, you are an adult, and then you spend another 20 years to get rid of all this baggage you got during childhood. Yeah. And all this healing process, if you want to get rid of all this hurting and want to have a proper balanced adult life, emotionally and mentally and so forth. Yeah, but if a child would have a less baggage, because you as parents educate them and parenting in a way that he has less wound and less baggage and less problems in the adulthood, yeah, then it's easier for him, right? Then you contributed to his adulthood in a positive way. But this, again,
Exactly.
this kind of approach and perception, because this is not how parents sees it. Yeah. So message has to be spread out that, hey, there is a different perception. How you want to say it?
Yeah, and again, it doesn't mean not being able to see something like that as a parent doesn't mean that you're not a good parent. It
No,
just,
that's
it's just
no. It's
because
just
all of us, we have our own baggage from our parents, right,
yes,
and their parents and their
yes,
parents, right?
exactly. It's just a wake up call. It's no good or bad. It's just a choice.
Yeah.
It's just a choice. It's not good or bad. You okay? Yes, we all have this. We all grown up like this. And someone started to heal it, some doesn't. There's no good or bad. It's just a choice.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It doesn't need to be healed, but if you're skilled and if you have some knowledge, 50% of the problem solved, because either parents or the kids, or preferably both, should know about the proper study technology. Yeah, like this teacher didn't know that there is a step-by-step gradient approach, and only that one works. Yeah, you cannot jump from the first floor to the fifth floor. Yes, but if you are an athlete or a swimmer or someone, you practice, you gradually get to the stage where you get your result.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not right from the start. And it's just a question of knowledge, skill, easy.
Yeah, and patience.
Maybe. That's not easy nowadays. Too much
That's true.
pressure from the outside.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because everything
yeah,
happens so fast.
yes, that's very true. Very true. I mean, I was just using this example from the grandmother, but yes, that's true. One of the reasons I could do it, because first, I know the technology. Second, I was patient because that was my job. Yeah. But when I was a single mother, stressful and have, going to work Saturday, Sunday, and yeah, I didn't have the patience. But
Mm.
I didn't have the technology either. Yeah? I didn't have the knowledge. I wish I would have the knowledge. Yeah? So that would help me to be more patient and more positive that there will be a result. But my daughter was so resistant to study and to school. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just giving me extra stress. But like what I've seen with this parent and the girl, the year three, the same thing. Just give them stress. Hey, there was a missing link.
Mhm.
Yeah. And same with my daughter. There was a missing link. Now I can see that when I look back.
Mhm.
Well, what can I do? I did the way I did, but I may say it or help with others if they want to prevent.
But it's also, I think it's good because that way you know you actually live through it, so you know what kind of stress a mother can have.
Yes, 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 of course. I have
Yeah,
credit.
so you
I,
understand them better and can actually talk to them on the same level, right?
yes, 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 I know it. I know it. And I'm participating in different Facebook groups. I mean, I was also working with ADHD and dyslexic kids, and again, observed these self-esteem problems and blah blah blah. And I was kind of emphasized that, wow, you are really talented. I mean, the boy was really talented in computer, but he was 8 years old, 9 years old at that time, and I was surprised of his capability, what he can do with the computer. It's really, and I kept emphasizing that you don't need to feel different, or if you feel different, then focus on its quality. You're so bad, you're so. Some of them are very artistic. You're so artistic. You're so clever. You're so good with computers. So focus on that and be proud of that instead of feeling the shame. Oh, I'm not like others. So I worked with these kids as well, and I observed that again, it's giving extra stress for the family, for the parents, how to handle it. Is there any technology? What's the proper approach? And yeah, so there are circumstances which is, yeah, I was a stressful mother, single mother in responsible position. That was my circumstances. But possibly my daughter was an early ADHD or something. So I look back, think she must have something like that. And there are other extra circumstances like step parents or foster parents. I've seen, I observed, I talk, I see, I hear, or like this ADHD or dyslexic. I see, I hear. Just yeah.
I always say I'm grateful I was born that early because probably if I would have been born 10 years later, they would have labeled me with ADHD as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, because well, I mean, it's just see the same thing. The academic approach cannot change their approach. It's easier to label them instead of change their approach. Yeah,
Yeah.
you change your approach. Yes, there are some special educational needs school, but when I was working there, or I may not have enough experience, I've been in maybe 2 or 3. All I've seen is they have the same approach, like the academic one, or same techniques, because this is what they know, and a bit more patience. Oh, they are different, so I'm giving an order, and I'm not expecting it happen right away. I have a tolerance. He may take 10 minutes, or he may want to do it because he feels like he wants to run into classroom. So it's just very interesting. Very interesting. Not easy.
Yeah, very true.
Not easy. Not easy. And I think, yeah, and we grow now, but we don't know how to be a parent. Is anyone teaching that? Like nowadays, they're teaching that we should educate our kids for entrepreneurship. Yes, that's great, very true. But we should educate our kids for financials. Some people, I know some traders who's having free class for 12 years old, 16 years old, and teach them free for how to trade, and they get good result. Yes, but so why no one's teaching how to parenting? Or maybe it's just coming. I think more and more people are dealing with this, and there are a couple groups that's definitely not an easy task to be a parent.
No, definitely. And I feel that also on top of everything else, even the scientists change so much in our household. In our household, because I have my base in Germany with my family, with my sister, her husband, and my parents. And my sister just got a baby 8 months ago, so we're watching what she's learning, like what the like what the doctors are telling her, and it's amazing. We're very grateful because it's in the area we're at is a little bit, but not too much alternative. So the how do you say, the midwives were saying, here are here's some instructions, but whatever, if your feeling tells you something else, go follow that. Don't ignore what we're telling you. But the suggestions, and we're looking at the suggestions, and then we have my mom telling her what she was told when we were little.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we just had a friend over from Ecuador, because and she works with little children. So she was telling my sister some stuff that they learned from school in Ecuador, how to deal with little kids. And it was different than what so it depends on where you're from, what country are you living, what kind of scientists do you have, what kind of books are you reading.
Yeah, very true.
Depending on that. So how are you to know how to do it in the end? I mean, we used to have way back then, we used to have the grandparents, the great grandparents, it would all the whole community, and everybody was just, you would grow up watching other people parent.
Yes. Very true. Yeah, and again, different approach, different informations. Yeah, because very true, not easy, because there may be systems and methodology which works for someone and may not work for the other one. It's just a trial and error.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, honestly, I believe your instinct. You have to feel it in some way, which is your way and which works for you. But yeah.
And that without having I have to do it because they, like, I have to do it because of this and that, like, how is it going to look if my children don't have very good grades in school? How is it going to look if they don't do a proper job? How is it going to, like, all those appearances to the outside world? That's not your intuition telling you what to do with your child. And if you really watch your child, if you go into empathy with your own child, you really see what it wants, what it needs in that moment.
Yes, very true. And they really need empathy. Because lacking empathy and nurturing also manifests in behavioral issues. And it's You know, it's maybe enough if parents knows this and aware of it, and then they find a way how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you know it, once you decide it, once you have a desire, I mean, the universe is working in a way that you will find a way. You will get the right person, you will get the right tool. Just go with the flow. Yeah. But I totally understand. I've seen that. When I told the mother with this boy, I was using as an example, transitioning from Montessori to the academic. She was surprised. He was a bright boy, but falling behind compared to the academic, his classmates. Yeah. But I told the mother that she shouldn't be anxious or worry about that, because this boy in 2-3 years will be at the same level or even higher, because he's so brilliant. Just he is struggling with the transition and with a different methodology and different approach. So just give him space and trust. He's a clever boy. He will get there. And if she would be aware from the schooling system, I mean what I've seen, that they almost teaching the same thing, repeating the same thing over and over again. In year 2, in year 3, in year 4. If you didn't pick it in year 2, you will pick it in year 4. What's the most important thing? By the time of KS2 or certain exam date, you will be at the level. Yeah, but this boy still had time to get there. So why being so anxious? And why increase the stress at home? Yeah. So that example for this, example for that.
I love how passionate you talk about this, your work and your job and how you were dealing with the kids and the parents. When you were young, would you have ever imagined working in this field?
No, not at all. That's what I'm saying. Even when I got the result from this life purpose consultation, I was like, what? Excuse me? No. What am I doing with this? You know, and then it's as I started this inner work and transformation, and we figured out, yeah, there was a way to get there. Yeah, there was a way to get there.
But how would you say was that for you? Like, because would you say, because this is one of the things that I feel sometimes I see my clients as well struggling, and I saw myself struggling with it as well. Because on one hand, like the spiritual world or my intuition, my inner feeling tells me, actually you want to have this and this kind of job, or this is the kind of job you're supposed to do, like in your case being a counselor for kids. And but your mind is going like, no, but right now I want to have this job, because I mean this job is perfect, I get enough money, I have the perfect, it gives me a, I don't know what kind of standard in life.
Very true. Very true.
How I feel that there's this struggle inside of ourselves.
Yes, very true.
But I think it's because we don't know that it's that it is actually our intuition that is telling us, right?
Yeah, or we don't trust, or we too much rely on our mind. I mean, I was working with my mind, and I was working in a different culture, and different environment. I mean, I would say I socialized in it. Yes, somewhere in my blood still, because I had practical knowledge. Yeah, I was a doing person. I learned a lot from my colleagues. Somewhere is in my blood, and then I figured out, yeah, but you have to function in a different way here. So yes, there is a transition to be able to function in a different way. And I'm not telling I can always do it, and it's exactly the same thing, because I observe the reason why I can't be in the flow or in the trust. Yeah, my intuition tells me something. Do I really listen? Or if my mind telling something, I'm listening to my mind. I listen to my intuition. Do I trust if I don't see the next step and there is uncertainty that I will be okay? Because these are the challenges. Yeah. I remember there is a guy, Ryan, he is teaching whatever his academy or school, Januaries or something. He is again teaching alchemy or transformation based on the, I think he is using the Kabbalah. And and he was telling the story that he was looking for a job, and his intuition or the question or the signs or how the universe leads him sent him a sign that, okay, so go to the seaside, travel here. And he went there and he spent I don't know how many weeks. And all of a sudden he met his friend. And then friend asked him that, what are you doing here? Well, I'm looking for a job. The friend told him, okay, I'm looking for a salesperson. So I hire you, yeah? And when I was listening to the story, oh my God, this is real transformation. How many weeks he spent there? So when you're looking for a job, so maybe, lack of money or something. But by the time he knew, there's a way there. I guess it's practice. It's not just it's happening from one day to another. Yeah, there is a practice. Oh, you observe that. Do I trust? I don't trust. Am I brave enough to do that step? Yeah, that's the sign. That's what I mean. I follow that, and then I trust, and then a friend appears. Yes, I'm looking for a job. All right, great. Here's a sales job. Good. That's what I'm saying. There are steps. Yeah, there are gradients.
Yeah, because I feel the moment we do that, it's like we stop fighting ourselves.
True, very
that
true.
Moment when we stop fighting and just surrender.
Very true.
It's so incredible because suddenly everything just falls into place. Suddenly you're meeting the right people. Suddenly you're, it's like, okay, and this is happening. Then someone comes in here and talks to you about this possibility, and it just aligns. It just aligns by itself. You don't even have to do much. The only thing you have to do is for yourself, stop the inner fight.
That's true. Very true. Completely agree. I observed in myself. Sometimes I can do it. Sometimes I cannot. But I'm trying to strengthen my trust more and more, because what happened with me is sometimes it happened that, I'm not like this Ryan guy. can be there for weeks and weeks, but when I followed this intuition and I was able to put the mind on the side, I don't understand. All right, so what? I don't understand. I don't need to understand. I followed, and a couple weeks later, a couple months later, when I was looking back, I said, oh my gosh, how grateful I am that I choose the path. I followed the intuition. Now I see I made the right decision. Yeah, and that's for me. And if I observe this kind of struggle between the mind and intuition, what I try to do now, because now I have enough experience to look back and see that, yes, the guidance was great. It was for my best interest, even if I didn't know it at that time when I made the step. And I'm just looking back to those events and saying, okay, I know. I don't know why, but it will work out as well. That's.
And I'm just remembering, because we have a saying in Spanish that says, no hay mal que por bien no venga. There's nothing bad that doesn't come for something good.
That's very true.
And it also, and that's what I'm trying to say. Once you go into that surrendering mode, even if something not so good happens, you're still able to embrace it, because it's just making space, probably making space for something new.
Yes. Very true. Agree. This is a great wisdom.
So wonderful. I have one more question about, in general. I didn't wait. No, let me ask this way. Can you tell us a little bit about your multicultural background?
Oh, my multicultural background.
What kind of cultures influence your life, your being?
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, I've been influenced with, I mean, the corporate world is really multicultural. So I traveled a lot, different cultural conference. So I traveled a lot, you know, because of my job and also as a personal trip in different countries, different. I'm also have an open mind. Yeah, so kind of mm, willing to learn, willing to adopt. So definitely the corporate culture affected me a lot. And also a couple of years in the UK affected me a lot. And I can really see a difference between those person, for example, who old age or in yeah, and never ever left the country or live in a village, whereas those those people who traveled a lot or work abroad or spent years abroad, they just have they just have a different approach, more kind of more international kind of people. Yeah.
Have you noticed?
Like usually when women Americans or Americans usually then they always have this international women club, you know, because they lived so many different parts of the world. They have this international approach and international background. So it's also kind of yeah traveling in different places and working in different places. I guess this is how you unless you live in a place like London, for example, there are so many different cultural people and background. But again, so you don't need to travel because if you are at the workplace, you, you know, you affected almost 3, 4, 5 different cultures.
Yeah. Have you noticed that maybe also with the children, I don't know how many different cultures you've had, like parent-wise, if because you sometimes have it with multicultural or relationships, that there also might be a communication thing there. Doesn't mean that it doesn't work, but sometimes it's just communication needs to be an extra effort for it, right?
Well, yeah, actually, this proxy mothering was an Indian family,
Mm.
but I think also school and education kind of there is always some general background, yeah. So their culture is rather in eating, yeah. But as they attend school in London or in UK, they eat burger, they eat everything. So they not there keen. I was really stressful about this cooking, for example, yeah. Oh, so will I be able to cook that food because they're really special? Yeah, but I got the recipe and they happy with other normal food because they got used to it at school. So I really didn't with the interaction with me. Yeah, I mean I've seen the culture that I'm in a different culture, but again, for example, UK is kind of what's the proper word? Kind of integrating them. So there is a common ground, and then like flowers, there is a common ground, the roots in the common ground, and then flowers is the different kind of cultural. Iranians are pretty much the same as I observed, very much different kind of food, different kind of culture. But Iranians living in UK are very different, I guess, from Iranians living in Iran. Yeah, so
Mm.
because of the common ground and the common culture, and they're picking up the kind of culture they have to. Otherwise, they always stay as a stranger in the country. Yeah.
True, true.
And also the education system is really, really good to integrate.
No, but also the reason why I asked you this is because for me it's interesting or what I want to show with this question was, even though we might be from different cultures, we still have our personalities have different kinds of values that are not, that you can't really just put into borders. This is, I think we could put you anywhere in the world, and you could use your technique to support
Yes.
families all over the world. That's what I'm trying to say. Because
Yes.
even though, especially, and I asked because I knew you were in London, or in the UK, because of the internationality of that city specifically, because I know so many different nationalities. I mean, from all the Commonwealth history of the UK. So for me, that's such a richness, so beautiful. I mean, it's amazing you learn to cook new food. Which I find is beautiful to always get into. For me, I always learn culture through food.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
but what I meant is, like, and that's what you basically answered. In the end, it's you found a common denominator for everybody, so it doesn't have to be different kinds of values through culture, because you can always find, for our personalities, it's always going back to empathy for each other, for ourselves, for
That's true.
us. Because
That's true.
what I've been
Yeah.
listening for everything that you said today, it's very important to look at the individual person, how that person is, and especially as a child, how to support them to bloom into their whole, to thrive as their own being. And that's so important. And I feel that that's important all over the world.
It's very true. Very
And it
true.
doesn't matter where we're from, right?
Very true. Yes, yes, yes. There are core human values and core. Very true. Agree. Yeah. Yes.
That bring us together.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Humanity. We have a
Exactly.
it brings humanity together because we are human. Yeah.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Great. Great.
One last question, because you said earlier, but I don't know if you want to name that one, but what one book that you can recommend our viewers or listeners that changed your life or that made an impact on you?
Hmm. I don't know whether I can name one, but because I read a lot, I really liked philosophy in the university. I liked the Gnostics. I mean, I always, it's kind of a, I don't know, if I look back again from my childhood, I was looking for the deeper question of life and existence. Yeah, I was a small kid, but I remember I wanted to know why we are here on Earth. Yeah. So I studied different philosophy, Sufis. I also, experiment different traditions like Buddhists and Sufis and Buddha. So I don't know. I can't. I'm sorry, but I can't.
No, it's okay.
No, I had too many influence and.
I know it's a huge question, because I mean,
Yeah.
no matter how long you've lived, I think a lot of us enjoy reading books and enjoy learning through books. And so, like, if you would tell me to give you one, I would have to go, okay, well, hold on, let me think about it. Which one of the 10, 20 that just came into my head do you want me to tell you?
I mean, for some reason, I don't know why, but yeah, I've read a lot. I've read a lot of books. Napoleon Hill came to my mind because reading his book was interesting from the point of view that someone strictly business or strictly finance talk about intuition. Yeah. Yeah.
Which one do you mean? The one thinking into, which one is
And
it?
use that intuition in your business. Yeah. Like I'm talking about this guy I used as an example, Australian, using the Kabbalah and techniques, but basically that's his leading principle. Something higher than a human being is the leading principle of being a human being. And basically, I don't know, maybe that was the intention of all this historical Bible and Kabbalah and so we tend to forget it. And I remember I was shocking because again, I was separating. Yes, that's business. That's because even when I was a businesswoman. Life was kind of forcing me in a way. I had the surgery, but for long it was separated. Yeah, yes, I'm a business person and I'm going to a retreat camp. I'm going to meditate. It's a long journey to bring them together. And no business, no. I'm a human being, and I have some higher perspective.
And it all belongs together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And the coach is teaching that we're being aligned. All right, yeah, being aligned. Thank you. Not easy.
No.
Not easy at all.
No, and it's so wonderful when we start noticing that it's all connected to each other. The moment it's us, because I can't separate the things. I can say I have this kind of personality and this kind of personality, but they still belong to me as a human being. And because I had a similar thing when I was still in my corporate job, that I was actually, hiding my spiritual side, being learning shamanism and things like that. And let's not talk about it. What are the people gonna think?
Yeah, my old friend was a shaman. Yeah.
And embracing all that and allowing yourself to do that, to say, or in my case, I am a very spiritual person, but I love technical stuff. I love computers. I love, I'm a small nerd.
Yes. I admire all this technical development too. Yeah.
And it was part of us growing up, and it's the same with the business part.
Yeah.
Because you were talking earlier about entrepreneurship as well.
Yeah.
It's allowing for us, because even also being an entrepreneur, it's a form of creativity of, and seeing this as a playful thing for us is also very important, because that's what makes us human as well. And follow that intuition, surrender, and see where it wants to take us. It's so beautiful.
Very true. If you let go of control.
Exactly. So if you haven't read it yet, I think it was Think and Grow Rich, right? Napoleon Hill. That's his one book, I think.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful because it was written so long ago, and still to know it's so true, and it's still so true, and it can still give you so many insights, and it's incredible. To me, it happened because I feel they sort of a little bit belong together, as The Science of Getting Rich from Wallace D. Waddell. He wrote his book in 1911. Yeah, and I'm like, okay. And he says a couple of things that actually happened afterwards, and in that book. So if you can read the original one. But yeah, I know that it goes into the same direction as Napoleon Hill. They basically, I don't know if you've ever heard of Bob Proctor.
Bob Proctor, yes.
Bob Proctor always mentions both of them. That's why it's like
yeah.
And it's incredible how spiritual that actually is. And we've been keeping it separated, and maybe that's the reason why we have so many things not working properly. And maybe if we stop separating it, we get,
more and more people aligned. But there is a new wave. I mean, I can feel a kind of collective awakening or something. This is how I call, because it's so many coaches, so many teachers, so many books out there. It's kind of, I think it wasn't accessible in the old times or long ago, but now is something happening. I think also energetically in a cosmic way, and this pandemic also helps us to go inside and find that voice and be aligned.
Definitely. It's done a lot with everybody, I think. Oh, Eva, this was so beautiful. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it a lot talking to you. I'm going to put for everybody, if you're interested in coming and work with Eva, I think you do you work online as well?
Yes,
or
I
just
work
London
online.
area?
Yes.
Work online as well. Okay, so
yeah.
So if you guys are interested, you don't have to be living in London for that. If you need support with your family, you'll have all the details in the show notes for the ones listening in on the podcast, and the ones on video, you'll have it in the description. go check it out. I think it's a huge and it's an amazing help. And I think it's so beautiful. I'm grateful that we were able to talk about this today in the episode. Thank you so much.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
And for you guys, thank you so much for listening in, and I hope you had enjoyed it as much as I did. Have a great time, everybody. Bye bye.